Okay, it is now 11:15. I just received a message that Brian is trying to sign in now. Let's 1 second. Okay, it seems like there are technical difficulties. However, given that everyone has waited and we are over time at this point, we will reschedule this meeting. Our, I guess we don't have a quorum, so we can't vote on it. However, I will be in touch with the board and we will post our public meeting notice as we usually do. If anyone has any questions, I will put the Clemency board email in the chat for you to reach out to me.
Thank you, Kim, for handling all this.
Yes, of course. Thank you, everyone. We'll post a new meeting notice online.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Brian's there.
Okay, would the board members like to continue the meeting?
Yes.
Just updating Mike, I think he signed on a little early, so he was just asking if we're continuing today. Okay, so I'll leave it up to the board if you'd like to continue. That is great. And Katya volunteered to handle the motions for today's meeting, and I will run the meeting today. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your patience this morning. We'll start with a call of attendance, and I'll just go by whoever's on the call. So Brian Ferguson is present.
Present. Sorry.
Katya is present. Alana is also present. Evan
Here.
is also present, and Felisa.
Present.
Thank you, everyone. So
Thank
we
you,
have
everyone. So we
reached
have
the
reached
five-member quorum.
quorum.
Okay, so as part of old business for applications, we are currently at a total of 14 pending applications, which is a big increase from what we had last year. There have been about 11 of those applications were submitted this fiscal year for the fiscal year of 2024. 4 of those 11 applications were closed for ineligibility reasons. They either have not exhausted their appeals or post-conviction motions, or they are not DC code offenders. We still are getting a lot of inquiries and applications from people who have federal offenses, so we're just trying our best to educate everyone on the difference between the applications. A number of our applications that are pending also still don't have DOJ applications, so I'm doing my best to reach out to those applicants to remind them that they have to also apply with the DOJ pardon attorney. And then I am still working on getting those release of information forms out to make sure we're getting responses. We do have one application that is very close to being completed for board review, which is great news. And due to the confidentiality, I can't say in this meeting which application that is, but I would just ask the board members to be on the lookout for any emails from me, and to also just check the conflict checker or conflict tracker to confirm that we will have a quorum to hold a meeting to discuss the application and or to have a hearing. As you know from today, that's very important for us. We need to have a quorum before we can move forward, because the way that a hearing would work or a discussion on an application is it would be during a closed meeting. And in order to get to that closed meeting, we have to have a public meeting begin to inform the public on what the meeting will be about. So please be on the lookout. I'm really hoping that before mid-year, we'll have everything together to give to you to review. If I'm very optimistic, I'm hoping it's by March. We're just waiting on the BOP to send me their documents, and then the MPD to also send them to me. We're still working out a process with them for me to send releases and to get them back, because the information we need is not centralized. It has to go to different units within the police department. So they just want to make sure it doesn't get lost in that shuffle. And there's one contact person to make sure that we get those documents back. So everyone has been very helpful, and I'm very grateful for that. There is a community event on January 19th. It's a Friday at St. Luke's Episcopal Church. We are not hosting this. It is a public run event that a member of the public has invited us to. I am still waiting for official approval to attend the event, but my plan is to be there to give information. Elizabeth Oyer, the pardon attorney, will also be present, and she'll be speaking to explain the process and everything to everyone. So it would be really helpful for us to be there as well. If anyone from the board is able to attend and join for that, please let me know, because I think that would be great as well to have board members there to answer any questions, and just to speak with people. I found at these events it's very helpful to just talk with people to hear their stories. And Felicia, I think you have a question.
At what time is the event?
Oh, I actually need to double check that. I want to say it's around 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes, at 10:30. And I can send all the full information and address to the board so everyone has it. Okay. And then As you know, we still have a board vacancy for the DC bar position. I am doing as much outreach as I can to spread the word for people to apply. We have one applicant pending right now that we're still going through the process for. Because as Brian and Felisa know, you go through the Mayor's Office of Talent and Appointment because you are an appointee. So there's a process. I cannot make any promises. I don't know who will get through the process. So I'm just trying to give people as much information about it as possible. In addition to that, she has given me permission to announce, to let everyone know that Emily Gunston is leaving the Attorney General's office at the end of this month. We don't know who her replacement within that office will be yet. We don't really know if there's a timeline on when they'll announce that. I think they're still figuring out what they're going to do without her. So it's a very sad loss for the board, but we're excited for her future opportunities, and hopefully she can still remain a contact for everyone. But she would have liked to be here to tell the board, but she had a personal matter to attend to today. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay. And I'm sure she would love to hear from you before she leaves the board officially. So at the last meeting, we discussed the September 8th meeting minutes for approval. I did get Felisa and Katya's edits, and I sent the board back the last draft that I had according to those edits. Did anyone have any other changes they would like to make? Okay, great. So if I can have Katya make a motion, if you agree with making a motion to have the minutes approved by board vote.
I make a motion to have the minutes approved by the board vote.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Does anyone disapprove? Okay, great. So if there are no further corrections, Katya, if I can just have you say the minutes stand approved as
The minutes
corrected.
are approved. Stand approved as corrected.
Thank you so much. Okay, so they will be posted for public view. As a reminder, these minutes were drafted because there was a technical issue, and that meeting was not recorded as the meetings usually are and posted to YouTube. So that's everything I have to update the board for now. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to add or comment on? Okay, no. So now's the time where we can move to public comment. If anyone in the public has a comment they'd like to make, if you can just message in the chat. I see Ms. Moyd is still with us. So Ms. Moyd, I can unmute you if you have anything to say.
Hello, everyone. I have no comments. I'll see you all at the next meeting.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us again. Okay, so now that we have moved to the public comment portion of the meeting, the board is moving to closed session for the training. I do know that we got started late. Does the board still want to meet in a closed meeting?
I'm sorry, I may have missed this. What was the training happening today?
It's a sensitivity training in preparation of a hearing that should be happening this year towards returning citizens. So just ways to phrase the questions in a sensitive nature.
Oh, cool.
And then Indira was also supposed to present on sensitivity towards victims and especially trauma victims, so trauma-informed types of questions.
My concern would be that we don't have very many people from the board here today, and that either the training would have to be redone or they won't benefit from the training. So I would suggest that we do it on a day when everybody is here and OAG has made their next designee.
That makes sense. And I would love to have this training generally, but I won't use it directly for the hearing, but I think it'd be great as a general matter. So to the extent that we're counting people, I'm not really one of them. I would love to have the training as a general matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree with Katya. Right now, yeah, I don't know, like, I don't because I wasn't aware that we had a training. So, do you know how long the training is for, or like a duration of the training?
So between the two different trainers, so Daryl and then Indira, it would have been about an hour.
Okay.
The thought of that, right, was that we would be done with the open portion of the meeting within 15 to 30 minutes because there were not a lot of updates for today, and then we would have been able to spend most of our meeting on that. But given the events of today, I'm not sure. It's already 11:30, and I am very respectful of your time because I understand you have full-time jobs, but
Mm.
I will leave that decision to the board. So I hear a majority saying they would like to save it for a day where more board members can benefit.
Yes, I would say that. I would agree
Okay.
with that.
And I got a thumbs up from Evan, so he agrees. So there's a majority, and Brian is raising his hand. Oh, I think that means he agrees as well. Is that correct? Okay. Um, okay, great. And I got a thumbs up as well, so that works. Okay, so that would lead us to adjournment. Just as a reminder before we vote to officially adjourn the meeting, the next meeting is scheduled for Friday, March. I did not put the date in there for myself. So it is the second Friday of March. On that Friday, it is at 10:30, and that Friday is the 8th. So at this next meeting, we still need to finish the discussion we had at our last closed meeting. So I will reach out to the board to see if we need to maybe schedule something in February to figure that out. And so we'll discuss further in email about that.
Was that meeting already noticed? I have a conflict beginning at 11:40.
Yeah, so everyone should have gotten calendar invites last month.
Sorry, I did have that. Does it go beyond
okay.
11:40?
I would hope not, as long as we're able to start at 10:30.
Okay, I have to leave at 11:40.
Okay. Okay, great. So is everyone ready to adjourn?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your patience and your time.